Welcome everyone to AVATA's Cloud Webinar Series. My name is Deb Bryant. I'm the Marketing Coordinator at AVATA, and I will be facilitating the webinar. Today we're presenting the fifth webinar in our series, where we will take a look at extending your JD Edwards solution with Oracle Cloud. Presenting for you today are Bob White, Vice President of our JDE operations at AVATA, Ward Quarles, Senior Director of Product Strategy and Marketing, JDE with Oracle Corporation, Dave Donahue, JDE Solution Architect with AVATA, and Clint Boudreau, Cloud Practice Lead and Solution Architect at AVATA. Just a few housekeeping notes today. All attendees will be muted throughout the presentation, which is being recorded and will be made available to you. Questions can be submitted through the webinar side panel, and we will respond to these individually following the webinar. And now I'd like to introduce Bob White, who will take us through an agenda and get the presentation started.
Thanks, Deb. Good morning and welcome, everyone. I'd like to talk to you about our agenda. We're going to do a brief introduction of AVATA. From that, we'll talk about the JD Edwards roadmap. After going through the roadmap, we're going to have a conversation about the cloud high value edge solutions that are solutions you may want to take a look at to enhance your JD Edwards applications. And then we'll do a wrap up at the end. I want to give you a little bit of background information on AVATA. AVATA's core business consists of three pillars: supply chain management, JD Edwards, and cloud applications. We're one of the few partners out there that can fully support your ERP applications through advanced planning. We support the integrations between the two, and we support you from those on-premise applications into the cloud. Regarding JD Edwards specifically, we provide implementation services. In fact, we took a net new customer live on financials last month, and we'll bring them up on manufacturing and distribution in June. Oracle is still selling JD Edwards to net new customers. That makes sense. With the drive to 9.2, we're helping many customers upgrade their systems to the latest release. We can offer full governance for those customers that require it, or just technical support for customers that want to do most of the heavy lifting. We'll right-size the team to meet your requirements. We offer health assessments where we'll come in and take a look at your system and make suggestions where we can help you gain efficiencies. For customers on older releases, we can offer strategic blueprinting services where we'll help you build a roadmap for future state IT decisions. For those of you looking to upgrade, we offer net new change workshops where we'll do a net change review with comparing your current release to 9.2 and show you the new functionality you can take advantage of for the latest release. And finally, for those of you looking to move your systems off-prem, we offer hosting services. We also offer full service managed services, including application development and CNC support. Well, enough about AVATA. This time I'd like to introduce Ward Quarles. Ward, welcome.
Thank you, Bob.
We recently polled some of our JD Edwards customers, asking them for some questions they'd like to have answers to. I'd like to ask some of those questions to you now, Ward. The first question: what's the future roadmap for JD Edwards?
That's a great question, Bob. Let's go into some of those details as they relate to the JD Edwards product. Just as a reminder, the information I'm going to share in my portion of the presentation today is covered by Oracle's Safe Harbor policy. And thanks to AVATA for having me join. First thing I'll start with is our 9.2 release model. For those customers who aren't on 9.2, this is where all of our future enhancements will occur. This is the release that we're targeting for our customers who want a cloud strategy for their business and who are looking for continuous innovation from JD Edwards. If you're on the 9.2 release, you have the opportunity to use any of the cloud layers that Oracle provides. One of those, which is infrastructure as a service, you have the opportunity to take your JD Edwards solution from on-premise, lift that and shift it to the Oracle Cloud. That's available as a part of our business processes that we supply to any customer who's currently on 9.2. And we'll talk a little more about those cloud options in another slide or two. I talked about the word continuous delivery in my introduction. Continuous delivery means that very regularly, usually about 4 times a year, we're delivering new software functionality to our Enterprise One customers. What's that mean for our customers? Well, you need to do continuous adoption. It's the other side of the coin. With continuous adoption, you have an easy path to take new features from JD Edwards, to take enhancements as we make them available. And you have the ability to control your destiny with those enhancements and or with the cloud solutions that we're providing. Bob, you specifically asked about the roadmap. This slide illustrates the pattern, the expected delivery pattern that we have for software over the next 10 years or more. As you can see from the pictorial, we released 9.2, Enterprise One 9.2 in October of 2015. So that was more than 2 years ago now. The red bar on this graph illustrates the releases that we've delivered since that time through November of last year. And you can see the gray portion of the chart shows that we have planned deliveries all the way out through 2028. That delivery date is an at least date. We will review every year our plans for software delivery for Enterprise One 9.2, and we'll adjust that date where necessary. So it wouldn't be improbable to think that it could be a bigger number than 2028 in the future. It's also not improbable to think that we might need to create another code line. We've done that in the past when technology drove us through that pattern. But as I stated earlier, we want to use 9.2 as a continuous delivery model. So that means any customer that goes to 9.2 should expect that JD Edwards is going to deliver new feature functionality at that release. But just in case, we've illustrated in the roadmap a future release that I designate as Release X on this particular slide. We believe your future is bright. JD Edwards is investing in features and functionality that give you confidence that you've made a good investment, a great investment in an Oracle ERP product, specifically JD Edwards, and that from the roadmap for at least the next 10 years, you'll get software updates from JD Edwards on that 9.2 release. Let's take a look at the 4 focus areas that the development organization is delivering on. In the upper left-hand corner, we have a pictorial that we call ERP modernization. This is where we deliver our enhancements for rich industry functionality. So if you're in the construction business, if you're a supply chain customer, or if you're that financials user that AVATA just brought live last week, you know that we're going to continue to deliver new features and functionality in the industries in which you operate. The next area of focus for us is UX innovation. Our user interface, for those of you that are not on 9.2, is very grid focused. With our new UX innovation project, we're taking and we're simplifying the user experience. We're personalizing that so that you can make changes without having IT make customizations. And it's a very graphical rich representation of JD Edwards information so that you can quickly make decisions and act upon those decisions that you want to make. If you haven't seen this new user interface, go out to our YouTube channel, the Oracle JD Edwards channel on YouTube. We've got several videos out there that'll show you some of those specific product areas in which we're delivering the new UX. The lower left-hand corner is a digital transformation representation. This is where we're delivering all of our technologies that help you become a digital business. This is our mobile applications as an example. This is where our IoT, our Internet of Things solutions exist. And this is where our collaboration and process automation technologies reside. Again, YouTube is a great place to go look for this information. You can also go out to learnjde.com. That's all one word, LEARN.jde.com. And you can find a lot of information on these product investment areas. And then lastly, operational simplification. We want to continue to make sure you can rapidly respond to the needs of the business. And that's that continuous delivery, continuous adoption, continuous innovation model that I referenced earlier. And this is also our cloud components. So we want to make sure that you can be cost effective in the things that you want to do from an IT point of view, and that you can upload and take those features, adopt cloud, do things quicker, faster, cheaper than what you've done on previous releases. Those are the 4 areas of focus that JD Edwards is delivering on. Hopefully from this webinar, you'll pick one of those as a focus area for your business. In the roadmap, which by the way, you can find on My Oracle Support. If you go out, if you're a customer, you go out to My Oracle Support and you just search on the keywords JD Edwards Roadmap, you'll find these slides that I'm showing you as a part of this presentation. In this particular slide, I'm showing you what we're doing for the next 12 months. The things that are underneath the banner called planned, and then specifically under the innovation areas that I just talked about, illustrate the types of functionality that we're delivering over the next 12 months on the 9.2 code line. There's a 5th column here that wasn't referenced on the prior slide, and that's our platform focus. So we'll continue to deliver new ERP functionality. We'll continue to enhance our UX model. We'll continue to deliver on our digital transformation and operational simplification, including cloud. We want to make sure that our customers who've adopted the different lines of business operation, whether you're running on an Oracle Red Stack or you're running on an iSeries that's an IBM product, or whether you're running on SQL, all of those things are available to you. And then because of our mobile platforms, you'll also see in that category all of our mobile enhancements that are planned. So that's the planned category, the next 12 months. The things that are still in research are beyond 12 months. So the things that are out to the far right, the last 3 columns, show you some of the things that are in our planning phase or a research phase, but not yet being delivered. In addition to these enhancements, we're always delivering our certifications, all of our security updates, our legislative changes, and our regulatory enhancements. One of the things I'll point out here, every JD Edwards customer who continues to pay maintenance to Oracle for your software, you continue to benefit from the security testing that we do. So don't lose sight of that. We're trying to protect your business from all of the bad people in the world that may try to get into your information technology solutions. This next slide, I transition to cloud. So the pictorial is Oracle plus something from cloud helps you become a digital business. And let's talk about each of those layers of cloud. And I'm going to start with the lowest level, which is called infrastructure as a service. To us, infrastructure as a service is your data center operations. This is where we want to make you a modern data center and get you out of the business of having to replace hardware every 3 to 5 years. We call this optimizing your JD Edwards operations. The next layer up is platform as a service. Platform is a way for you to extend your JD Edwards with things that are in JD Edwards and things that are delivered through the cloud model from Oracle. A perfect example of this is our mobile security. If you want to adopt JD Edwards applications, but you're concerned about the mobile solutions not being secure or not having the right infrastructure internally to deliver those in a secure fashion, we have a cloud solution for mobile that complements the JD Edwards applications that are mobile that allow you to use that in a safe, secure, highly efficient and cost-effective way. And then the last piece is our SaaS components. Oracle has thousands and thousands of SaaS applications. We consider those complementary to JD Edwards. Typically, these are things that you can license from Oracle that aren't being delivered by JD Edwards. That's why we call it complementary. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in the slides that follow. All of that is designed for you to continue to operate in a hybrid model that gives you choice of when to adopt cloud and allows you to control when cloud becomes part of your solution and allows you to continue to benefit from the investments that you've made in JD Edwards. Remember, cloud is an option for every JD Edwards customer. It's not a requirement. You can choose to use cloud. You can choose to stay on-premise with JD Edwards, or you can pick that hybrid model that I was just describing. This is an example of what some of the customers are doing for cloud today. We've got over 700 customers using one of those three layers that I just discussed: infrastructure, platform as a service, or software as a service. And many of those 700 customers are using a combination of those. So you can see probably the biggest part of the pie here is HCM cloud. So that would be that complementary SaaS model where they're using JD Edwards financials, distribution, manufacturing, construction, but they're adding the HCM talent management to their payroll solution from JD Edwards. So this is an example. On the left side are some of the products. Taleo Recruiting happens to fall into that HCM cloud model that I just talked about. Down in the pass model at the bottom, that's where the mobile solutions reside for operational and security control. All options for you as a JD Edwards customer. Let's look at those three levels one more time to make sure you're clear on what they mean. So for infrastructure as a service, it's all about managing risk and eliminating the technology obsolescence that comes along with data center operations. We want you to have a predictable, consistent, secure data center model for your JD Edwards users. And we want you to be able to provide the support to your business from IT that really aligns with business rather than aligning with data center operations. So it really takes those IT members of your team today and allows them to focus more on the line of business than on running the data center. The platform as a service, there's over 40 solutions here from Oracle. I mentioned mobile a while ago. You can get a security pass solution from Oracle. You can use Oracle for your application development cycle. If you're building applications and you want to use our infrastructure and our development tools, those things are available to you in a pass model. This is all about making sure that you can manage all of your performance expectations of your users in a combined or hybrid model. You do some things, we do some things, and we're making sure we're meeting our service level agreements with our end user community. And then the last piece is all about SaaS. SaaS is where the world is going today. It's all about making applications available via the internet on a per month, per user basis. For most customers that are, say, just in a financial model, a SaaS solution makes a lot of sense. If you're using the distribution, asset intensive, or project and services solutions from JD Edwards, Oracle SaaS doesn't have a lot of that today. So you may find SaaS to complement your business in certain areas, but I would almost guarantee you everybody that's on the call today will continue to run their JD Edwards solution. It's not a get rid of JD Edwards and adopt SaaS model. It's a keep JD Edwards because of the investments I've made, because of the investments JD Edwards has made in my business, and use the SaaS applications where it can complement those prior investments. Again, you have choice and control. You make those decisions. It's not an Oracle decision for you. Bob, do those cloud updates make sense?
Yes, they did. That's great information. I appreciate that. Listen, here's our second question that we have. With the market's push to cloud, what's the right path for JD Edwards customers? On-premise, hybrid, or cloud?
Well, I think the right path could be any of those things depending on who the customer is. So a customer could say that the hybrid model makes a lot of sense for my business, but maybe I want to get out of the data center operations business. So I'm going to run my JD Edwards on an infrastructure as a service model. Maybe I'm that large construction customer and I'm doing a lot of hiring, firing, bringing in new management, evaluating talent, and Taleo makes sense for my business. So SaaS or PaaS could make bring a lot of value to the organization. So that hybrid model could make sense. And as I said, we haven't had a lot of customers yet totally abandon JD Edwards and go to cloud, and it's because of the investments that we're making in JD Edwards. This screen illustrates some of the things that I talked about. Think about JD Edwards as your platform. It's more than just your ERP. It's more than your general ledger. It's more than your shop floor control solution. JD Edwards is the platform. The platform allows you to innovate and allows you to begin to adopt digital transformation type technologies. And the things that we're doing in those first four boxes, simplifying your operations, modernizing your ERP, delivering digital technologies, and transforming or innovating on the UX, all allow you to leverage the platform. But you have to get onto 9.2. 9.2 is where all that innovation is occurring, and it's occurring through our continuous delivery model. Cloud is transformative. Cloud is a journey, and it's a journey each customer has to decide on. So that journey is up to each individual organization. You can't be like anybody else. Your business is run differently, and you have to make the cloud decisions. But leverage JD Edwards in that model and look at the hybrid options that are available to your organization. So, Bob, my last question to your audience is, are you ready? I'm going to ask them a question, and they can think about this as we go through the rest of the presentation. To go to 9.2, you're saying to the business, we need to transform. We need to transform in a way that we act differently, we think differently, and we want to take advantage of the innovation and the digital technologies that JD Edwards is delivering. In addition to going to 9.2 for those transformative technologies, we know that we're going to get deep industry-rich applications from JD Edwards on this 9.2 code line. So upgrading to 9.2 or migrating from World to 9.2 has the benefits that support the things that are important to my business. But once I get there, I'm not done. This isn't a once every 2 year sort of thing. I want to make sure that I'm continuing to take those updates from JD Edwards every quarter as they deliver them through at least 2028 as defined by the roadmap.
Ward, I want to thank you very much for all that great information. At this time, I'd like to bring in Clint and Dave for our next question from our customers.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Clint Boudreau. I'm the Cloud Practice Lead and Solution Architect at AVATA. Bob, I think one of the areas that's come up before in this discussion that we want to elaborate on more is bringing in additional cloud components that are already offered by Oracle into our JD Edwards environment. In other words, if there's not a plan to move JD Edwards entirely up to the cloud, what add-on cloud solution makes sense? So I'm going to address some of those ancillary systems here today.
Great.
So when we start talking about the journey to the cloud, we're really talking about how to enhance the performance of the business in areas that the JD Edwards solution may already be touching on, but may not be fully realized as a business process. So we evaluate three basic pillars of your environment, of your systems environment, as well as your business environment, to determine what cloud solutions may be most appropriate for you. If there's a net new process that your organization has not considered yet from a business systems perspective that you're looking to get into, whether it's contracts management or more advanced costing analytics, there are general cloud components that can be brought to bear to make those new business processes real for your organization. You may have offline business processes such as HR or budgeting and planning that don't have an integrated business solution yet, that you're doing in spreadsheet or that you're doing with a manual email process that we can leverage cloud components to make more automated and more efficient. And then in some cases, you may want to do a complete end-to-end business transformation of something that's already being done in your on-premise solution, but you want to lift and shift up to the cloud. That could be your entire procure-to-pay process. For example, if you're looking to enter into more of a shared services model for your procurement and want to take sourcing to contracts all the way through accounting up to the cloud, we can accommodate that as well. So when we start talking about the most common components that are good bolt-ons for your core JDE on-premise solution, we have a number of different options that we can bring to the table. End-to-end business processes such as supply chain management, reporting and analytics processes such as enterprise performance management or costing, as well as some other ancillary systems that may require some additional attention from your business, such as marketing and CX, product lifecycle management, or trade. These are all available in the cloud and complement your current JD Edwards core nicely. So as with all solutions, the implementations in cloud tend to be smaller than your normal on-premise model. For example, in CX Cloud, when we start talking about bringing in opportunities and leads into your systems, bringing up some of the social aspects of the cloud, automating analytics and workflow. When we start talking about campaign management for marketing, or providing customer support and call center services and field service management to your JD Edwards solution, these are all much shorter timelines for implementation than an on-prem model typically brings to bear. For example, in Sales Cloud, we were generally looking at a 2 to 3 month implementation, whereas marketing could be as little as 1 to 3 months to get those systems up on their feet and integrated with your JD Edwards solution. When we start talking about an end-to-end implementation of a larger scale business process, supply chain planning has a lot of components that can be leveraged either as standalone processes such as order promising, or larger analytical processes such as your demand and supply planning. We can phase in these components in pieces, or we can take the entire supply chain planning aspect of your business and move it to cloud as a larger scale implementation. Transportation management, transportation planning and trade compliance is another area where we offer sort of the full logistics and trade layer enhancement to JD Edwards. When we start talking about automating government filings, managing restricted party lists, export control, other areas of your trade management system, we've got capabilities in the cloud that in a lot of cases for JD Edwards customers is above and beyond what their on-premise solution can provide. Dave, I think you've had some experience in seeing some of this. Dave is our JD Edwards solution architect.
Thank you, Clint. Good morning. Yes, for our food and beverage, our wineries, anybody that does those national and international shipments, this is a platform to manage all of that transportation activity across multiple supply chains, and manages the shipment details for both national and international transactions. It's one of those enhancements that adds high value, because a lot of these things, from a JD Edwards standpoint, we've had to either customize or third party, even track outside of JD Edwards, and this offers a complete robust solution for all of that transportation and trade compliance.
So where transportation planning and trade compliance gives visibility and assistance in managing materials outside of your four walls, so to speak, there's also quite a bit of functionality around warehouse management systems that we can bring to bear in the cloud. Real-time visibility, safety stock control, system-directed activities for labor, multi-channel demand. These are all areas around warehousing that the cloud has a very robust solution for. When we start talking about performance tracking and analytics around workforce labor, or analytical tools for creating reports and alerts around some of your business intelligence and KPIs, the warehouse management system in the cloud is a really good enhancement to what's already been leveraged inside JD. When we start talking about enterprise performance management, there's a huge value for clients with an on-premise solution, even those that are already leveraging some reporting functionality around planning and budgeting and reporting in, say, a Hyperion on-premise solution. The EPM cloud can assist with account reconciliation, data compliance and reporting, automates financial consolidation and close, and really gives sort of that robust reporting layer beyond what is generally capable in a JD Edwards on-prem solution.
And yes, for those of us that have spent time in JD Edwards, many of us have asked for a budgeting solution that's a little more robust than what the current process of spreadsheets, email going around, and then finally getting a quote unquote final budget and uploading that into JD Edwards. This actually provides an interactive dashboard suite of applications around budgeting, also assist in the financial close and consolidation. And the thing that I personally like about this is the workflow for approvals for journal entries. A lot more robust functionality other than the standard JD Edwards approval post security. And the account reconciliation, again, provides a little more, well, actually a lot more functionality than the current manual kind of just ticking transactions off through the system.
Another area that Oracle's really provided some terrific enhancements around is cost management. I'm a huge fan of this new product. It's been out on the market for maybe even less than 6 months, and AVATA has been really aggressive in looking at how we can leverage in-memory cost management for JD Edwards customers. Basically, the advantage here is that companies that are running ERP, I don't care if you're JD Edwards or eBusiness Suite or even already in the cloud, there's plenty of cost data that's currently being collected by companies, either inside their ERP system or out, where you've got costs associated with material, labor, overhead, where your cost departments are doing resource allocations or cost allocations against aggregated allocation pools, being able to aggregate hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of cost-related records, both historical and future forward forecasts, and being able to spool off actionable intelligence on the fly is really the value proposition that in-memory cost management gives most companies. So again, it's built on 3 pillars of functionality, really true cost planning for allocation of costs, being able to simulate cost impacts based on business changes, whether that's the variations in sourcing, theoretical price changes, resource cost impacts, BOM revisions, anything you can think of that you want to modify in your cost footprint can be simulated, put back into your system, and aggregated and analyzed. And then at the end of the day, it's all about the profitability and being able to determine what margins you're looking at on a go-forward basis. At the end of the day, when all of this data is collected, aggregated, collated, you want to be able to do some very straightforward and powerful reporting and analytics. And the tool out of the box gives you a lot of really great analysis around actual versus planned cost changes over time, margin analysis, break-even point analysis in terms of what your total cost and revenue projections are looking like, being able to take profitability metrics around planned orders, sales forecast, unshipped orders in a dashboard view, and on the fly be able to look at the impact to your cost of goods sold depending on different types of plans that you may feed into and want to forecast again. Even beyond just the analytical tools, being able to look at cost impacts for simulations and for plans against your current cost outlook on an item by item, component by component basis through an Excel front end, it gives you a very powerful capability to do drill downs into the lowest level of cost, whether you're talking about overhead costs, resource cost, or component costs, being able to explode BOMs in real time, look at the cost impacts, make minor changes in costs on a simulation basis, and then rerun the entire simulation all on the fly. I mean, what used to take weeks for finance departments to collate, consolidate, pivot, run through Excel spreadsheets is now available in real time with this in-memory cost analytic tool. Another area that cloud offers some real good enhancements against is against product lifecycle management. Like Hyperion, it's perfect for companies that already have an on-prem agile implementation, for instance, or who've considered agile in the past but haven't been able to get over some of the barriers to entry for the cost of those types of solutions. Gives you a lot of visibility and control over your innovation management. product development and portfolio management, all in a cloud-based application that integrates nicely with your on-prem JD Edwards solution. A very common component of this product lifecycle management that we've seen a lot of companies leverage is the product data hub. This is really your master data management component around your data master. Gives you collaborative views of your products and services built in a shared data model that enables manufacturing, sales, data governance, your operations, as well as your finance groups, visibility into what your product offerings look like, how they're being modified and changed. It gives you that collaborative feedback loop that feeds the JD Edwards system from a master data perspective. Again, another end-to-end business process, and I've touched on this before, is sort of cloud procurement. It's really a great place to start for organizations that are looking for a little bit of a larger cloud footprint and may need additional features and functions that are associated with procurement that could be enhanced in their current JD Edwards solution. When we start talking about sourcing, where you're getting materials, how you're receiving and managing inbound quotes and proposals. Your contract management is an often overlooked but usually high risk area of your business, where you can assess and evaluate your current contracts and make sure that the boilerplate templates and offerings associated with your legal department are being managed in a centralized location. And then supplier qualification. I mean, what are the areas for master data management that cloud can give you? Well, you're building your supplier master similar to your product data hub. And providing that pass back through to JD Edwards when you've onboarded suppliers is generally a very powerful tool that a lot of JD Edwards on-premise customers see value in.
Yeah, that procurement, the cloud procurement, what we like to classify it as a from source to settlement solution for procurement. The nice things that it has is that ability to keep track of those contracts. The whole procure to pay process has been streamlined. And as Clint mentioned, it manages those supplier qualifications for that accuracy, as well as the full ability to not only take that data, but use it to create and track the analytics that we need across the whole procurement platform. For the JD Edwards customer or client, if you're either a public entity or a private company, contract management, RFPs, things like that have always been difficult to track them. And this gives us a solution that helps us track those vital pieces of information.
Even beyond what the cloud offerings from Oracle provide, AVATA has developed some cloud components using Oracle's cloud technology with an eye towards enhancing what not only JD Edwards brings to the table, but other cloud supply chain systems. So from a scheduling perspective, being able to intelligently sequence work orders, provide sort of an interactive Gantt chart and flexible scenario management for your work order scheduling, as well as supply and demand pegging. Our AVATA scheduling board cloud is really a nice little component add-on for customers that are looking for more of a dashboard view and more of a cloud interactive solution for how they're managing their operational work orders. And so AVATA's developed, again, in conjunction with Oracle, this AVATA scheduling board cloud, which is a nice add-on component for a lot of companies that are looking for other deployment options for their work orders. Second area that AVATA has been working in is around trade promotion management. We deliver predictive planning analytics to marketing and promotional activities. So basically, AVATA is closing that feedback loop between your promotion design and your pricing strategies, and giving sort of a good lift to offline processes that are typically done by companies but aren't integrated into any kind of system solution. So for JD Edwards customers that are looking to improve the sort of revenue forecasting and profitability analytics around their trade promotions, this is a nice add-on that AVATA has developed for those customers. So at the end of the day, when we start talking about component add-ons to JD Edwards, one of the big questions that tends to come up is, well, how do we close the loop between the cloud and JD Edwards? And so from an integration perspective, AVATA has put quite a bit of work into developing PaaS solutions for building out cloud adapters to help us close those loops. For example, in the current JDE environment, we have already begun and will continue to enhance these pre-built adapters that give integration between Sales Cloud, our own scheduling board, EPM, and then where there's dotted lines there, those are integrations that are in process of development and are pending final release that are available for customers that are running JD Edwards that want to move to, say, PLM or transportation management. So through the course of this discussion, hopefully we've raised some good ideas or answered some questions as to what your current JD Edwards systems can evolve into by leveraging some of these cloud technologies. One of the things that AVATA does do quite a bit of work around is doing cloud readiness assessments. Not only can we do health checks of your JD Edwards system in terms of how your current JD Edwards footprint is looking, but we can also add additional consultation and review of what cloud components would be good for your organization going forward, build out timelines and implementation strategies, and help really prepare a roadmap for getting you where you want to go. So in conjunction with that, we offer a free roadmap consultation where we'll visit you on site and have some discussions around what your online and offline system capabilities are, get a feel for what areas your company is thinking of moving into the near and short-term timelines, and then give you a roadmap assessment in terms of what cloud can offer you specifically, and what would be a reasonable approach for you getting to the cloud. So to sum up here a little bit, Oracle has solutions for every JD Edwards client with aspirations of moving to the cloud. As our other speakers have said, we are going to continue to protect your investments in JD Edwards and be that partner that sees the value of the investments you've already made and will help guide you towards enhancing those investment in the future. We'll discuss what your current pain points are, see if there's edge cloud solutions that'll assist with those areas, and give you a real good feel for what the implementation costs and integration barriers look to be for moving into the cloud, as well as provide integration solutions for increasing the value and decreasing the timeline of making those changes. Real quick, just want to give a little shout out here to our future cloud presentations and webinars. In July, we're going to look to focus on financial cloud applications and where the value proposition is for the cloud in finance. And we hope that you have an opportunity to visit us at avata.com/events and register for any of the webinars that are coming up on our schedule. One last reminder, if you missed any of this webinar, want to revisit anything that we said, spend some more time perusing any of the slides that we showed today, or want to share this information, we invite you to go to avata.com under our resources link and look at or share the webinar that you saw today.
Thank you, Clint, and thank you to all of our panelists today for sharing your time and insights with us. If you would like to know more, we invite you to contact us via email, visit our website, or follow us on social media. For those of you that submitted questions, we will be reaching out to you soon. Thank you all for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of your day.